Scrambling to do your tax return for the 31st of January? Well, I've got some good news. As business accountants, my team and I spend all day long helping business owners on their journey. And of course, one of the key things we're doing right now in January, in the middle of January 22, as we're recording this, is dealing with last minute tax return submissions for clients that have just got their paperwork together and need this sorted out. So we do like to do things much earlier in the year where we can get the information. But as always, people come to us around this time looking for help. And one of the problems that's occurred over the last couple of years is because of coronavirus struggles is you've had people who have left it to the last minute through their own personal things going on and everything else. And the government has finally recognised this, and there's a little bit of good news for the deadline on the 31st of January 2022. So before I tell you all about that, if you like these type of videos, make sure to click the subscribe button and the bell below so you get notified whenever we release more just like it. So what is the good news then? So the good news is that although the deadline hasn't changed officially for the tax return, so the official deadline for the 20/21 tax return, so that's the tax year sort of 6th of April 20 to the 5th of April 21, needs to be submitted by the 31st of January 2022 as we're recording this video. Now that's fine, that isn't moving, and what happens normally is if you don't submit the tax return you get an instant £100 penalty. But Revenue and Customs have noticed that actually generally taxpayers have got problems with coronavirus going on in their world, and as a result might have a problem getting these tax returns done on time. And also a lot of the accounting industry bodies have gone to Revenue and Customs and said, look, you know, we've had our own staff shortages, we're struggling to get these things done. And they've said, okay, well what we're going to do is, although we're not officially going to change the deadline, we are not going to give you a penalty if you get it in before the 28th of February. So effectively, and I'm going to use that, only effectively moves the deadline to the 28th of February. Now, the reason I say, effectively, and it isn't just they're moving the deadline, is it doesn't change when your tax payment's due. So your tax payment's due on the same day, the 31st of January. So if you don't make that payment, then they're going to charge you interest from that day onwards. So although you can do your tax return late, your payment's still due. Sounds odd because, to be honest, in order to pay the tax and work out what you've got to pay, you're going to need to do the tax return. You could do some awesome maths. You might be quite good with the tax allowances and work out roughly what you've got to pay, because you can pay the tax people at any time using your unique tax reference, your UTR. So if you do know and you want to avoid some interest, you could always overpay, or you could just pay some on account to help reduce that interest, whatever you want to do, if you know what that's going to be. But otherwise, if you're going to need the extra time, just appreciate you're going to end up paying a bit of interest when you do submit that return and pay that money. Now, they have said they won't charge extra penalties for late payment if you get that sorted before April. So there's normally two elements when you pay tax late. You'll get interest charged daily, and then you'll also get a penalty depending on how long you've taken really to pay it. But they're saying, look, we're not going to charge you those penalties until you get the other side of April. Now, if you know you cannot pay the tax, the best thing to do is give them a call. There's a time to pay arrangement that you can sort out with them, and I'll put the link below so that you can find out and go straight to that. But actually, they've been really good over the last year or so. With the coronavirus pandemic, they appreciate that not everybody's got a load of money all the time, so they've been more lenient than usual with this and offering some quite good terms to pay this back. So don't bury your head in the sand, do contact them if you're going to be late paying, but if you do get it sorted before the 1st of April, it's not going to be disastrous, you're just going to have some interest. So there you go, some good news if you're looking to need that extra bit of time to complete your tax return. If you've enjoyed this video, please do share it with somebody that needs to know, and we'll see you in the next one.